A very good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Live at 1, the digital edition. I'm Michael Njenga. Now, a group of civil society activists have this morning held protests outside the Communications Authority of Kenya headquarters in Westlands, Nairobi, demanding the intervention of President Uhuru Kenyatta to help resolve with speed the underlying issues that have led to the digital migration standoff that has caused the shutdown of 4 TV stations in the country, carrying television sets that they say have become useless in their houses since they have no access to their favorite programs. The protesters demanded that Kenyans have a right to information, and the current stalemate is infringing on their constitutional right to information. Anti-riot police were deployed at the scene to deal with any eventualities at the demos, which were held peacefully. The 4 TV stations, Citizen TV, owned by Royal Media Services, NTV and QTV of Nation Media Group, and the KTN of Standard Group, have been off air for close to 2 weeks now.
Waizi wanakula kuku. Sisi tunalipishwa vitu bei kali hapa juu ya waizi kula kuku. Tumewaletea kuku sasa, wakula kuku kabisa, wanone. Tunasema namna hii. Wakati when we've got a blackout in this country, there's no democracy. We cannot get democracy in this country. Na ndio tunasema tumekuja na Hima TV. Hima TV tutawachia waone. Tutawachia waone. Na Hima kuku wanapenda, tutawapatia makuku. Wakule makuku. Wakule makuku. Sisi tunakataa. Hii injini yetu. Na hatutakubali. Tutapigana juu chini tuone hii nchi tumeikomboa kutoka wanyakuzi ambao wananyakua mali zetu za nchi hii. We are not going to allow this in this country. When there is a blackout in this country, we know there is no news. When we get free nini, when we get free TV, kwa nini wataki nini? Kwa nini wataki tupate TV ya bure? Tunataka TV ya bure. Tunataka TV ya bure. Kwa hivyo tutapambana na hii watu mpaka mwisho. Operation Ondoa.
Hii kufunga radio, kufunga TV ni vita baina ya matajiri na maskini. Matajiri wana uwezo wa kuwa na TV kwa sababu wanaweza kulipa mambo yote. Lakini maskini wamekaliwa chini. Ili ndio watukandamize, watunyonye na wataweza kutusuppress with all the resources. Tukae kwa giza. Ili hali watoto wao wanaona TV, watoto wa maskini hawaoni TV.
Well, a 56-year-old man in Materaine village, Madera, was yesterday lynched by angry villagers a day before the burial of his son, who he was accused of killing last weekend during a quarrel over some sweet potatoes that the son had harvested from their farm. The angry mob set the man on fire in the extrajudicial killing. The deceased Kiraiko Kamba is said to have disappeared from his home following the death of his son Mwaneki Kiriako to escape the wrath of members of the public who had vowed to punish him. His son was found kneeling on the floor of their house with a rope tied around his neck, an indication that he could have committed suicide. Area OCPD Matthew Guio said that the investigations into the death of the two are ongoing. He has urged residents to remain calm as the probe continues.
An inquiry is suspected that he is the one who killed his son on Saturday. A matter which is being handled and being investigated on allegation that he committed suicide. So the matter is being investigated to establish who committed this crime. It's going to be treated as a crime.
Well, still on matters of crime, bandits in Baringo County shot dead a man in the arable in the latest brazen attack on residents there. Police have launched investigations after the incident in which the young man was shot dead near a health facility. The killing comes even as the government sent the Mariga District Commissioner on forced leave due to his alleged poor performance in handling security matters in the area.
Residents of Audible in Baringo County have expressed their shock and concern after armed bandits shot 28-year-old Stephen Kilamini at close range as he went to fetch his phone at a nearby dispensary. The armed gunman then escaped from the scene of the killing. Detectives have launched a probe following the brutal murder.
They shot him at close range near Kasiela Dispensary, where he died instantly. The body was collected this morning and brought to Kabarnet District Mortuary.
Meanwhile, a senior government official has become the latest casualty of the government's policy of zero tolerance of inefficiency. The Marijit Sub-County Commissioner has been sent on forced leave and will be redeployed to other duties following his poor performance in dealing with insecurity in the sub-county.
DC for Marigat will be proceeding on leave, and somebody is taking over from him with effect from tomorrow. He's going because of the laxity that we noticed, and that's why he's handing over to somebody else as with effect from tomorrow.
More police officers have been redeployed to parts of Baringo County that have been hard hit by cattle rustling, even as government officials expressed concern about increased movement of armed herdsmen in some areas in recent weeks. From Mohammed, Citizen Live at 1.
Moving on, police in Garissa have arrested 11 illegal immigrants believed to have come from Somalia. 3 of the suspects managed to escape when the police stopped the car ferrying them, while the rest, who are women and children, are currently in police custody, undergoing vetting by the National Intelligence Service officers, after which they will be arraigned in court.
So we have got about 5 people who are facilitating the movement. So they are also going to appear before court to be the law to take its course.
Well, staying with matters crime, but on the international scene, Kenyan award-winning actress Lupita Nyong'o's famous Oscar dress, adorned in pearls and which was valued at 13.6 million shillings or $150,000, has been stolen from her room in Hollywood, United States. The customized Calvin Klein dress, made of 6,000 white acquire pearls, chopper diamond drop earrings and 3 chopper diamond rings, was taken out of Lupita's room at the London Hotel in West Hollywood 4 days after she wore it at the 87th Oscar Academy Award ceremony held on Sunday. The 31-year-old actress has become a darling of Hollywood's red carpets in the past 2 years with her outstanding fashion choices. Police are now reviewing CCTV surveillance footage to know who stole the dress between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Wednesday while Lupita was out of her room. Now, police in Naivasha are holding 3 men suspected to be behind the slaughter and sale of donkey meat in the sub-county. The suspects were arrested early this morning as they loaded the carcasses of a donkey and 3 cows into a saloon car in Midhuri Estate along the Nakuru-Nairobi highway after a woman alerted police on the theft of her livestock. 3 other suspects are reported to have escaped during the dramatic arrest. Security officers had a difficult time controlling members of the public who wanted to lynch the suspects. Police say they will now focus their probe on the alleged leader of the illegal meat syndicate and the suspected destination of the beef, said to be a famous beef market in Nairobi. Well, let's talk business now. And British American Tobacco Kenya has reported an 11% rise in its pre-tax profit for 2014, which now stands at 6.1 billion shillings, mainly driven by increased sales in its premium brands in the domestic and export markets. The company's managing director, Chris Burrell, says the company's tax obligations increased by 6% to 15.4 billion shillings, mainly due to higher excise tax and value-added tax. The cigarette manufacturer's total turnover rose by 7% to 34.12 billion shillings as earning per share increased to 42.55 billion shillings from 37.24 billion shillings the previous year. BAT shareholders will get a dividend payoff of 42 shillings and 50 cents per share.
A strong export performance, and obviously our exports do not attract domestic excise in Kenya. The consolidation of our operations in Eastern Central Africa into our factories in Thika and Nairobi continues to reap benefits, and we believe will continue to do so going forwards.
We kick on to sports, where Liverpool are knocked out of the Europa League on penalties by Besiktas in Turkey after their last 32 tie ended 1-1 on aggregate. Besiktas' tall grey Arsenals forced the game into extra time with a 72nd minute goal. Liverpool are now left with the FA Cup as their last realistic hope of a trophy this season.
Gökhan Toure again causing problems as he's done throughout the night. Lovely turn from them home and out of the Europa League. Here is Lovren, and he's missed. Liverpool are out of Europe. Besiktas with a perfect penalty performance. And the Turkish side advance to the last 16.
Well, Liverpool wasn't the only English team to be knocked out yesterday, as Italian side Fiorentina edged out Tottenham Spurs 3-1 on aggregate to extend their unbeaten run to 11 matches. Mario Gomez and Mohamed Salah scored for the hosts.
From Gomez, the goal scorer, to Salah. These two still proving a real handful. Gomez back towards Salah again, putting the pressure on Vertonghen. Oh, and scoring! Mo Salah makes it 2-0 Fiorentina. Haunting Tottenham in this competition again. It's the man on loan from Chelsea that might just...
Well, a last-minute goal against Celtic erased the Scottish side's valiant fight, sending them out of the Europa League, while Inter Milan proceeds to the next round. The 88th minute all-important goal came from Inter Milan's Freddie Gorin.
Scoring streak and blasts Inter into the last 16.
And Everton are the only British side still in contention in the Europa League after they humbled Switzerland's Young Boys 3-1 at Goodison Park last night. Romelu Lukaku scored a brace, with Kevin Mirallas adding Everton's third goal.
Wanting it, Garbutt's delivery. Lukaku! Brilliantly taken. And he's on another hat-trick against Young Boys. 5 minutes. Got there first. Gibson has a man on, so cool.
Well, last night's Fairwood versus Roma clash was suspended after an inflatable banana was thrown towards Govino French official Clement Turpin suspended proceedings after a number of objects were hurled into the pitch by fans. The first leg in Rome had been marred by crowd trouble, and officers arrested 17 Dutch nationals and 5 Italian prior to the game. Eventually, Govino scored the winner in a 2-1 victory as Roma won 3-2 on aggregate.
They have to switch on again. They have Gervinho.
Well, an exploded Second World War bomb has been discovered close to Borussia Dortmund's Signal Iduna Park ground. The 80,720 capacity stadium and the surrounding area was evacuated, finding an exploded World War II bombs in a relatively common occurrence in Germany, where several million tons of bombs were dropped during the 1939-1945 war by Allied and Soviet forces. The city of Dortmund suffered extensive destruction during the bombing raids. Well, Felipe Massa was fasted for Williams on the opening day of the final preseason test of 2015 in Spain. Massa hit the front early on Thursday afternoon, clocking 1 minute 23.500 seconds, the fastest time seen so far this year in Barcelona, and enough to leave him almost a second clear of the field at the checkered flag. Sauber's Marcus Ericsson finished second, while reigning champion Lewis Hamilton finished third. Testing continues on Friday. And jubilant cricket fans have flooded onto the streets of Afghanistan, dancing, waving flags and firing AK-47s in celebration at their team's historic World Cup win over Scotland. World Cup debutants Afghanistan secured an all-important one-wicket win over the Scots in Dundee, chasing down the 211 target with 3 balls to spare. In Kandahar, ecstatic fans danced in the streets and fired off their weapons, a traditional Afghan gesture of celebration. Well, that's it on Live at 1, the digital edition. Thank you very much for being with us. To have yourselves a lovely weekend. My name is Michael Njenga.